Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam, Rasulullah. Welcome to Purification of the Heart of the School. This is a back to the fitra approach to a resilient school community. Jazakallah khair for taking time out of your day, your valuable time, to listen to this presentation. So this is based around the principle that bringing all the hearts within a school to a state of peace through the remembrance of Allah. So the collective heart of the school is sound. Based on that surely in the remembrance of Allah, the hearts find peace from the Quran. A little about me before we get into it. I'm Catherine Jones, CEO and founder of the Back to the Fitra Mentoring Academy. I've been a Muslim since 1995. I'm a mother of 5 and stepmom of 2 adult stepsons who are in their 30s. I've taught since 2005. Been a parenting instructor since 2012, and I'm a graduate of Islamic pedagogy from the Centre of Islamic Thought and Education at University of South Australia. I also head up a curriculum development team at Back to the Fitra that comprises of teachers who are also certified Fitra-focused coaches through our certification program at Back to the Fitra. We start with the concept or the concerns around teacher burnout, because when we're talking about having a resilient school community, it really does start with the adults. Because if the teachers and the parents aren't faring well, then it's challenging for the kids. And in a survey of over 12,000 teachers, they discovered that 65% were showing signs of burnout, 20% at risk of burnout. That means 85%. That's only 15% that are doing okay. And the reason this is a concern is that research shows us that teacher burnout will lead to the undermining of student motivation. So the way we look at it is tired, stressed, and overwhelmed parents and teachers is going to lead to unhappy, demotivated, and off-track children, and therefore causing behaviour management problems in the classroom and at home, of course, too. So we want to do our best to prevent behaviour management issues by focusing on well-being first. So the purification of the heart of the school, what is the key heart in the school? It's the student. The students were born, everyone was born on the fitra, but they're still closer to their fitra state. And it's up to us as the adults in their life, the educators, to come into that classroom in a way where we are nurturing and preserving that fitra, not covering it with our own issues that are going on for us. And that same applies for parents. And so our holistic approach looks at how can we bring up the wisdom and well-being of the adults so that the wisdom and well-being in the students is nurtured and protected. We have a 3 C's Peaceful Hearts model that really is the core understanding. It's based around 3 C's: confidence, compassion, and calm. So if based on our interpretation of confidence, compassion, and calm, a teacher walks into the classroom in that state, then there is the opportunity for the best outcomes in the classroom, having that captivating classroom experience. Each of these are innate in us. We were born innately confident, compassionate, and calm. And you only have to look at little ones to see that providing their physical needs are met, and from an attachment perspective, same with their attachment needs met, they're naturally confident, compassionate, and calm. So our confidence is based around our relationship with Allah, knowing our purpose, which is to worship Allah alone and to do so in a manner that's pleasing to Allah. And our position being what position we're currently in. Are we in an emotional state? Are we in an egotistical state? Are we in an intellectual overthinking state? Because all of those states can overrule our purpose of being in a state of doing things for the sake of Allah and doing them in a manner that's pleasing to Allah. So when we're mindful of both of these, this is what I understand to be true taqwa, true consciousness of Allah. We're not always going to be conscious of Allah all the time. And so it's a combination of knowing our purpose, but also understanding where we're at right now and what might be getting in the way of us showing up in that state of purpose. So the first T in our formula is taqwa. The second one is our relationship with others. So the first was our relationship with Allah. This is our relationship with others. And it's where we're able to separate the person and the problem, being able to see them as distinct, because behavior is actually a symptom. It's a symptom of what's really going on. People are not the problem. Their behavior is not the problem. It's what's going on for them and the way they're thinking about it that is the problem. And if we can get to the source of the problem, the behavior naturally resolves itself. So being able to see the student as the human being they are, the little vicegerent that they are, rather than the lazy student or the late student or the disrespectful student or the talkative student or the whatever comes into our minds, then we're able to see them with compassion, because compassion is lost when we see a person as the problem. And this is in all our relationships, not just with our students, it's across the board. So if we want to have a state of tarbiyah where we're nurturing from one soul to another towards Allah, that's what my understanding of tarbiyah is, then we need to be able to differentiate the person from the problem and see the person and have that natural compassion that we will feel when we see the person. So the last part is our relationship with ourself, which is the calm, and it comes from presence and peace, being present in this moment, not being caught up in futuristic or past thinking. So not dwelling on the past and getting depressed, and not dwelling on the future and getting anxious and stressed, just understanding that everything right now is okay, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us He will never burden a soul with more than they can bear. So whatever is going to happen, whatever is happening, whatever happened in the past, we can bear it. And so we're able to be in this moment, facing whatever it is that needs to be faced right now. And peace is peace of mind, meaning that when we're walking into that classroom, we're not coming in with all the stresses and thinking around the bills that we need to pay, or the fights that we had with someone, or the concerns we have about our children. We're able to let that go, and we're able to be in that state because of tawakkul, because we can have complete trust and reliance upon Allah that everything will be okay, as it usually is, despite all our stressful thinking around it. So this is what we teach adults and children, not in this form, but this is the model of what the essence of our teachings are, bringing people back to taqwa, tarbiyah, and tawakkul, to confidence, compassion, and calm. And it all comes back surely in the remembrance of Allah, the heart's find rest. As you'll see, every single thing I've talked about comes back to Allah. When we see it from that perspective, we naturally feel at peace. And that's what I truly understand this verse to mean, that when we're seeing it through the Islamic lens, we will be at peace. So we have a method called the Fitra method, based on the word Fitra. And the first part is focus. Our focus is on the true source, Allah. Allah is the source of everything, the source of provision. He's the source of well-being. Everybody has well-being within them, and that source of well-being comes from Allah. Connect with Allah and we will find our well-being. And so everything is Allah focused. And then inspiring yourself and others to pleasing Allah by being in that best state ourselves, we then inspire others. And what an amazing thing for a teacher to be that in the classroom for the students, being that inspiration for the students, triumphing over ego, emotions, and distractions of the dunya. So very important in this era, and especially understanding truly what the concept of ego is. because ego is a lot more than what most of us actually understand it to be. And when we truly understand the concept of ego, we are able to triumph over it, and we are able to be more pleasing to Allah as a result. Alhamdulillah. Renew relationships to having loving connection. The natural state, as I said before, is for us to have compassion for one another. As we get deeper into this understanding, relationships are renewed because all of our stories and thinking that we've had around people, the problems that we thought that they were to us, fall away, and we actually start reconnecting with the human being, not the problem that we see them to be. And so that just naturally happens. And from here, as we see the miracles unfold in our life, in our work, in all aspects of our experience, it truly activates our full reliance and trust on Allah. We realize that there is nothing else to worry about because Allah is there, no matter what, always guiding us, and it's up to us to truly connect with that. And the final bit is harmonize your life and live in heartfelt presence. This is the automatic result of this understanding. Once you understand that the only time to live is in this moment, your life becomes harmonized. You can balance it all because you realize that the only thing to focus on right now is what is in front of you that needs to be focused on. And you do that through an Islamic lens, through understanding how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there guiding us. It's the most beautiful experience in life. And when adults and children together understand this, you have peace and harmony and a very motivated and activated environment, alhamdulillah. And my home life is absolute testimony to that these days. Most of my children, apart from 2 teenagers, are adults now. And they have this understanding through hearing me teaching it constantly. And I see them being a source of a solution to others around them. And I see our family life being one that is peaceful the majority of the time and loving all the time, alhamdulillah, despite when we have those moments when we disagree with one another. And this is what we want in school and in home life for our kids, because when they grow up in that environment, they truly flourish. So alhamdulillah, we won the Crescent Foundation Outstanding Student Wellbeing Program or Policy Award this year for our Purification of the Heart of the Schools program. So let me unpack for you what that entails. The steps are, at first, we want to work with the teachers. Get the teachers to a place of taqwa, tarbiyah, and tawakkul, so that they are bringing the culture, the Islamic culture, into the classroom. And we can do this with non-Muslim teachers as well. The concepts that we teach are not deeply Islamic concepts that will be difficult for teachers who work in Muslim schools that are not Muslim to understand. My experience is that they understand it and they can equate it to their own understandings and benefit from it. The next step is the students, the Back to the Fitra for Kids programs to be facilitated in the schools. And now what you end up with is a consistent language that's being spoken around between the teachers and the students. I'll give you a small example. So we for the kids, we teach the kids that they've got an innate guidance system. Just like they have a respiratory system and a circulatory system, they have an innate guidance system, meaning that they were born connected to Allah, guided by Allah. And if they are connecting to that and listening to that, then their life goes really well. So if you have an off-track child that is doing something that is silly, and obviously they're not thinking clearly, a teacher can use the language very simply and say, hey, it doesn't seem like you're listening to your IGS right now. Or ask the question, are you listening to your IGS right now? And it's a very gentle way of getting their mind back to, oh yeah, that's right, I meant to listen to my IGS. So it brings about a consistent language that takes away all shame and judgment and harshness in our approach to dealing with behavior, and just reminding kids to come back to Allah. Isn't that in the end what we really want, is for everyone to turn back to Allah for the answers? Then the final part is parent outreach through the Peaceful Parenting Program. So I'm going to share a little bit more about each of those with you. The teaching with taqwa, tarbiyah, and tawakkul, this area, working with teachers, we have 3 levels. The first level is just the teaching with taqwa, tarbiyah, and tawakkul program, so that we create captivating classrooms, providing teachers with the understanding that will help them create an environment of taqwa, tarbiyah, and tawakkul in the classroom. So this is the part where teachers themselves come on board with this understanding and have well-being themselves and bring that well-being into the classroom. The next level of training is to become a facilitator of the Back to the Fitra for Kids programs. So trained educators to provide the student well-being programs within the school. Our goal is to make sure that you become self-sufficient, that you're not constantly reliant upon Back to the Fitra for us to come in and teach things, because we know that, you know, budgets get tight in schools. So the idea is there's the investment up front to establish this within the school, and gradually training the people within the school to continue the work so that you don't need our assistance. And the top level is having coaches, Fitra-focused coaches, certified Back to the Fitra coaches, leading well-being in the school and continuing the growth and development with Back to the Fitra. So the way we have established it to make sure that schools continue to grow and continue to be supported in this important work is that those Fitra-focused coaches, those that have come through the Back to the Fitra Mentoring Academy and trained to be Fitra-focused coaches, if they maintain their membership at Back to the Fitra, they will continually be part of any growth and changes that we are making, any improvements. And so that will filter then back through those coaches back to the school. And that is the way in which, in a very cost-effective way, you can continue to have that growth and continue to develop the program without having heavy costs by outsourcing so much. So this is some of the sharing from those teachers who are part of our curriculum development team, who are also teachers in schools, and what they have witnessed through their growth and being able to implement this in the classroom.
I'm more calmer and I'm enjoying it so much because I'm a lot calmer and I'm able to be there with them and more in tune, more present with them. SubhanAllah.
I noticed that the children responded immediately already with the first 3 lessons. They've become more confident and more connected. I thought it was more about, the activity that was making them enjoy the lesson, but really they valued the connection.
When things go haywire, I'm connecting more fitra to fitra. So because I'm in that space, my ego is less there. The child feels connected and is able to come back from that off-track behavior quicker.
On reflection, that because of this understanding, I was able to see that each student is doing their best in any given moment, and hence I was able to show up compassionately, and that this view has made a whole lot of difference in my classroom and student engagement.
They're excited about learning because it's where they're coming from, not where I want them to go.
To stop overthinking the fact that this is what the school wants me to do, this is what I feel is right for me to do. I have more confidence now that I don't have to overthink it. I just turn it over to Allah, and things will work out on their own. And the children will be all right. And everyone will be all right, inshallah.
Now I'm not really focused on myself. I've learnt in myself how to focus on the kids and their needs rather than what I'm going to do about any situation. that's left me a lot calmer, a lot more patient, and a lot more able to deal with any situation that needs to be dealt with in a very calm manner. And it doesn't actually cause me the stress that it used to anymore, because I've kind of detached my personal view of myself in the situation and just focused on the students.
Before, the ego was much more inclined to come in, that they shouldn't be doing that they should be doing this, that there's, I suppose the expectations have dropped. And I've learned that any off-track behavior is now an opportunity to connect and find the teaching point and get creative, and that it's up to me. I'm leading this.
So the next stage is the Back to the Future for Kids programs, and we have multiple levels here. The first 3 levels being the ones that are relevant to schools. The first level is loving Allah. So our focus is on building a deep love for Allah with the children. They already have that there, but we want to help them understand what that looks like in their life. Help them understand how Allah is there present for them. The next stage for ages 10 to 12 is Allah's guidance. This is where we're introducing the concept more deeply that Allah is there guiding them, showing them the way, and all they have to do is follow that guidance. And the third level is accountable to Allah for the teens, which now they are accountable to Allah, is showing them that they have that accountability and how that works and how they can actually show up and be confident in being accountable to Allah, confident that they are making good decisions, behaving in a way that is pleasing to Allah. And the higher level is for those who have left the school and in their early years before, getting married and having kids, it's peaceful hearts. And that really sums up all of the programs together at a more adult sort of level, young adult level. So this is what some of the kids, this is particularly from the preteen program, the ones for Allah's guidance. This is what they said. Ask them, what is one important thing you learned? And this is strictly copy and paste some of their answers. I learned how to control my thoughts and feelings so it doesn't get too out of hand. I learned that all of us are born on the fitra and that you have to let go of your anger and worries, etc. I learned how to control myself and to always be happy and to smile a lot. Allah is here for you. How to love who you are, to be a strong, happy person, letting go of negativity. I learned that our thoughts can control our imagination and we need to ask Allah for help. I learned that I need to be calm sometimes instead of being angry, to be kind to everyone and listen to your fitra. How to control my feelings and anger, how to not let others affect your feelings. I also asked them, what is one difference you notice about yourself? Controlling my anger a bit more. I follow my IGS, innate guidance system, more and be more wiser about my surroundings and observe. I remember to catch myself and being mindful more. I learned that I started getting more helpful and a little bit polite. I've become more compassionate and have found it easier to cope with the bad thoughts and feelings coming through my head. I've become more aware and respectful, expressing my feelings in a better way, a way that to see things in a different point of view. I get less angered by others. I don't rage too much. I stopped being as mad. Think before you get mad. Before this, I used to be a very impatient, sensitive person, but after learning about the IGS, I learned how to let the negative feelings go. Karma, think before I speak, or think what I should have done after I have done the wrong thing so I'm prepared for next time. I think that you can see how amazing that is. And also one thing that comes to my mind is how much anger they seem to be letting go of, which shows us how much anger they seem to be hanging on to, which of course is obviously going to create issues in the classroom. And the last question I asked them was, what difference does it make knowing Allah is guiding you? It makes me feel protected and safe. It's a bit exciting. I used to not know how to be disciplined about my studies. All I think last time was playing games, but now I only play games when I get the chance to. I don't feel alone in my decisions. It feels good that Allah is watching me and always protecting me. Good, I can talk to my voice in my head that says to do the right things, the ones that I know are good and need no question. I keep calm more. I start learning to listen to my IGS to make good decisions. I know what to do. It makes me feel safe. Follow everything you feel it is the right thing to do. It makes me more calm and collected because my IGS is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is my God and He knows what's best for me. Subhanallah. Isn't this what we really want our kids to be thinking, how we want them to view the world? Subhanallah. The other thing that strikes me from those comments is the mention of safety. And it makes you wonder what they're feeling unsafe from. Subhanallah, that they're now feeling relieved from. So there's a lot going on for our kids that we may really not be understanding, but we don't need to understand it to be able to help them. These results came from 8 weeks, 1 hour a week online with these kids. It wasn't done in person. It was during COVID time that we ran this particular program and got these particular results. So 8 hours in total over 8 weeks. And these were the results that the kids said, their exact words. The last piece of the puzzle is reaching out to the parents with the Peaceful Parenting from the Inside Out program. And I just want to share a few comments of what parents have said. We have actually worked with hundreds of parents since 2014. This was our initial program and the one that we have taught now for 9 years. And these are the sorts of results. We are going through so much as a family, but since joining Peaceful Parenting, I've been able to keep calm and think through what is the best way forward. Alhamdulillah. I have a better understanding of why my children behave the way they do and how I can help them through their big, messy feelings. I also have become more cognizant of how my children's behavior affects my emotions and behavior and how to manage myself to create a peaceful home. I have developed powerful self-awareness that means I treat my children the way I always dreamed, calmly and peacefully. I have seen amazing transformations in my whole family, alhamdulillah. Wow, this course was so much more than just a parenting course. It has touched each and every aspect of my life. It has completely transformed my relationship with my son and the people close to me. But what is even more astonishing is I have also been transformed. And the best part about what I have learned is being able to take charge of situations at home and no longer feel like it is hopeless. So I would love to answer your questions around this, anything that you would like to know. We can also discuss how we can implement this in your school based on the needs of your school. Every school is different and every implementation is tailored specifically for the school. So please make sure that you book in a time to talk to me with the link that is under this video. Jazakallah khair for your valuable time. And I really do look forward to speaking to you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.